My 2,400-mile trip to Key West, Florida from Longmont, Colorado had an ominous beginning. With just 3 hours into my trip, an unexpected blizzard and a foot of snow forced me off the interstate and into a Burlington, Colorado motel. I had planned to take the shorter northern route to Florida, stopping in Missouri to see Sally's mother. However, with more snow forecast down the road, I headed south as fast as I could. The plus in taking the southern route was an overnight stop in Melissa, Texas, and a lovely visit with my cousin Carol Brown and her husband Pat. I brought in the new year in Silver Springs, Florida. On January 1st, I drove to Tampa for my first NOMADS project of the new year at Cornerstone Ministries. We served at Cornerstone Ministries for 3 weeks. On the first weekend, I enjoyed a visit with Tina, Jeff, and William Marble. Tina was married to my cousin Ed, who passed away in 2017. It was great being with other Marbles. Our service at Cornerstone Ministries continued during the second and third weeks of January. For the full video all about the work we did, click on the link at the end of this video or in the comment section below. On our second week, I met up with classmate Will Brown and his wife Minnie in their lovely home in Sarasota. The last time I had seen Will was 56 years ago. We both attended Woodstock School in North India from kindergarten through high school. Among so many other things, we both remembered serving on our high school stage crew together. From our work site, I walked the 2.5 miles to the port of Tampa, where the cruise ships dock. The sheer size of the cruise ships was staggering. They looked so top-heavy. I searched for some images of how much of the ship was below water and how much was above. Indeed, they looked like they should tip over. I remember the times our family traveled back and forth to the United States from India by ship and how much fun it was. When I traveled to the United States for college in 1967, I traveled on the Queen Elizabeth on its third last voyage before being retired. I wondered how it compared in size to the current cruise ships. The Queen Elizabeth I traveled on carried around 2,000 passengers. This Norwegian Jade docked here, though slightly smaller in size, had a few extra decks, giving it a larger passenger capacity of 2,400. Googling, I learned that the current largest cruise ship, the Icon of the Seas, with many more decks, can load twice as many, with a staggering capacity of 5,610 passengers. Forgive my fascination with cruise ships, though I have not been on one since traveling to college 57 years ago. I enjoyed all of the activity at Sharkman's Wharf, where the cruise ships dock. A variety of foods are offered from a number of colorful shipping containers. Sharkman Wharf provides room to lounge and enjoy the day. On one of my walks down to the wharf, a band was entertaining the crowd. It was a beautiful day. One evening, Woodstock schoolmate Jeannie Barnes and her husband Greg took me out for an Indian dinner. The next day, our whole NOMADS team decided to eat Indian at Rasoi Indian Restaurant in nearby Ybor City, an interesting historic downtown district. In Ybor City, wild roosters and hens rule and have free range of the city. On Saturday, I enjoyed a delightful evening with Austin Trentham, his wife Stephanie, and their very cute Lily. Austin is Sally's cousin's son. With the 3-week Cornerstone project finished, I headed south to Key West, the most southerly city in the United States. I stopped in West Palm Beach to enjoy the ocean view. Back home, I was used to waiting at railroad crossings for trains. Here, I waited for the drawbridge to slowly rise and let a ship through. I stopped for the night in Royal Palm Beach to visit Jim Ginn and his wife Lori. Jim, like Will, with whom I visited earlier, was also on our high school stage crew. We had not seen each other for 60 years. Driving from West Palm Beach to Miami, and even south of Miami, it was like driving through a city 100 miles long. The city never ended, and the traffic often was bumper to bumper slow. I stopped for the night in Florida City and asked Siri on my phone for the closest public beach. The Homestead Bayfront Park provides a swimming area with 2 lifeguards on duty all day long. I walked around for a while. There were some nice boats tied up in the marina and other boats going out and back. I lingered at the restaurant a long time, enjoying the views and a tasty fish dinner. I had often wondered what it would be like to drive from mainland Florida to Key West. I had envisioned very long causeways across the ocean with long bridges here and there. And indeed, there was one such causeway which was about 7 miles long. However, to my surprise, I found that 90% of the highway is on firm, solid ground. The highway is built across one island after another, all called keys, all the way to Key West. Key West is a fun city. I used frequent flyer miles to book a room at the Ibis Bay Beachfront Resort for the night. While waiting for my room to be made ready, I enjoyed a tasty lunch at the resort restaurant. After claiming my room, I caught the resort's free shuttle downtown. We passed by marina after marina. The homes along the way were landscaped with a lot of tropical trees and plants. You may not be surprised that I first walked to the docks, where daily cruise ships release a couple thousand tourists out onto the streets. They fill the stores and restaurants and enrich the island's economy. From the docks, I walked the entire length of the island on Duval Street, where it opens out again to the ocean. I took a picture of the most photographed landmark on Key West Island. However, I did not wait at the end of the long line of about 100 people waiting to get their picture taken with the marker attesting to be the most southerly place in the United States. I paused for a moment, remembering my visit in classmate Mark Wagner's cabin in Seaport, Maine, the acknowledged most northeasterly city in the United States. A few months later, I visited schoolmate Polly Peterson and her husband Jim in Imperial Beach, which boasts being the most southwesterly city. I also visited several of my schoolmates in Port Townsend, Washington, which is one of the most northwesterly cities. And now I was in the truly most southeasterly city in the United States. How cool that my visits with my India boarding school schoolmates had literally led me to crisscrossing the country. It was only a few blocks from this landmark to Hemingway's home and museum. There are many ways to get around the city. One of the favorite is the train that winds through the streets explaining what is being seen. Scooters, e-bikes, golf carts are available for rent. These out-of-town guests were enjoying seeing the city by golf cart. This stall caught my eye. I had been eyeing the green coconut so plentiful in Florida. I wished for the skill of my YouTube friend Katya. Her skill at climbing up and getting coconuts amazes me. Unskilled as I was, I resorted to paying $8 for a refreshing drink. I remember long ago my dad introducing me to green coconut water on a trip back home in South India. It is an acquired taste since green coconuts don't taste anything like coconuts. But once acquired, they are oh so good. The sunrise from our hotel the next morning was amazingly beautiful. Later in the morning, this time, I headed north on Highway 1, also descriptively known as the Overseas Highway. Traveling south to Key West the day before, it had been cloudy. Headed north now, it was all sun and blue skies. I hope someday to travel this road again.